is Amy, and I will be doing the anticipatory set, the introduction, and the teacher modeling of the lesson.
And I'm Allie, and I'm going to be doing the guided practice instructions part of the lesson.
And I'm Brenna, and I'm doing the processing information enclosure.
This will be a third grade social studies lesson, and it should last about 40 minutes. Some of the standards will be understanding and identifying the historical periods that were influenced, knowing primary sources, and using the information to draw conclusions from the historical data. The students, after completing this assignment, should be able to create a newspaper summary about the facts they collected regarding the Titanic and describe the significance of the Titanic. And also at the end, they should be able to match the true and false statements on the worksheet. Students must get 8 out of 10 correct to achieve mastery. I want everybody to take out a piece of paper, and I want everybody to jot down 5 things about the Titanic that they know. Who would like to read their sentence aloud that they created?
Me.
Yes, Allie?
The Titanic hit an iceberg before it sank.
Very good, it did. Before we go into some of the facts that I'm going to give you about the Titanic, I'm going to play a short clip, and I want you guys to just watch the video and see what information that they give you. Okay, so that was just a short video. I'm going to give you a few little details about the Titanic, and then you're also going to be reading 2 articles on your own that's going to give you more information regarding the Titanic. On April 10th, 1912, the Titanic set off from Southampton, England to New York, and it was traveling about 20.5 knots. Does anybody know what a knot is?
What happens when you tie your shoes?
No. This knot is the type that the speed of the boat was traveling at. So instead of miles per hour, it was saying knots. At 11:40 on April 14th, 1912, and it actually hit an iceberg, and it sank off of Newfoundland, Canada. It sank in less than 3 hours, and 1,500 people died. The Titanic was owned by the British White Star, and some of the requirements on the ship was that the ship could carry 42 lifeboats, which it was supposed to, but it only carried the 20 lifeboats. 705 people were rescued from the Titanic with the lifeboats, but there were also 1,523 people that drowned or froze to death from the icy waters. Now, I want you guys to start getting ready. You're going to do a main activity, and then you're going to read two little short clips about our articles, and then you're going to answer a worksheet.
Okay, so what we're going to do next, I'm going to pass out. You're each going to get a newspaper headline from right after the Titanic sunk. There is 2 of each newspaper headline, so to get into partners, I want you guys to find the matching headline. So you're going to each have 1 partner. When you've got with your partners and you found your match, you guys can sit in your desks together, or you can sit on the floor somewhere. You're going to be doing partner work. And what you're going to be doing is reading the 2 handouts that were passed out to you. And you can highlight the main points, you can underline. I want you to just pick out the most important things that are in these handouts, the most important information about what happened. And so now that you knew what a headline looked like right after the Titanic sunk, you are going to make your own. Because back then they didn't have radio or TV or internet to tell them what's been going on, so they relied on newspapers. So you're going to create your own newspaper right here. Up on the top, just like on your partner assignments, you're going to create the name of the newspaper. My newspaper is called the Eagle Newspaper. After that, you are going to take all your main points and write a summary. Here's an example of my summary on my paper. On the morning of April 15th, 1912, the sinking of the Titanic the previous night shocked the world. The ship was considered to have been so well constructed it was believed she could sustain any amount of damage and still remain afloat. Late on the night of April 14th, 1912, the sinking of the Titanic proved this idea wrong in a horribly tragic way. The causes of Titanic to sink have been the subject of much study and debate. Obviously, the instigating factor was the collision with the iceberg. However, the question of how did it sink is frequently the center of most questions regarding the Titanic. In 1912, the sinking of the Titanic began late on the night of April 14th. Even though crew members were desperately trying to turn the ship in the other direction, when the ship collided with a berg, a massive rip was torn parallel across the ship's bulk. The Titanic's sinking began almost immediately as the ship began to take on water. The Titanic sank somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean south of Newfoundland, Canada. So some of that information you already knew, but what you're going to do is create a summary like mine. You can talk more about the people that were on it, you can talk more about the lifeboats, but just an accurate summary of what happened. What you're also going to do on your newspaper is print out pictures. One person at a time from the groups are able to go on the computer and you can print out pictures of the Titanic. And what I want you to do is label underneath what they are. So I have 3 different pictures here in black and white. You can print them out in black and white, or you can have color on your newspaper if you want. It's up to you to design your newspaper however you want to. And when you're done creating your newspaper, you are going to be doing an individual assignment.
So using the 2 handouts that were previously given for the article, we're going to do a true or false assignment, and each student will be doing it individually, so keyword is individually. So everyone is going to figure out if the statements are true or false. So if you want to read along on the worksheet that we gave you, the directions, we're going to indicate if the following statements are true or false. If true, please mark a T in the provided area, or if it's false, please mark an F in the space provided. If it's false, we're going to actually rewrite the statement in the other provided area to make the statement true. So for example, we'll do the first one together because they're a little tricky, so you need to read them carefully. So the first one says, the Titanic sunk 2,000 miles due east of Boston, Massachusetts. Does anybody know if this is true or false?
I know.
Amy?
True.
Actually, it's false because the Titanic sunk 1,000 miles due east of Boston. So that's why you need to read these questions carefully because they're a little tricky. So when you figure out the correct answers, you're going to rewrite it underneath to say, the Titanic sunk 1,000 miles due east of Boston, Massachusetts. So after completing this worksheet, we want you to get 8 out of 10 of them correct to show that you understood the lesson. And after you do that, on the back of the worksheet, you're going to fill a few sentences about your whole individual and group experience of learning about the Titanic. So we want to know if you enjoyed working in your group, if you liked learning about the Titanic, and would you have liked to learn anything different. So when you're done with this, please hand your newspaper article and this worksheet into the provided basket